Hi, my name is Chelsea, and the first question I'll be addressing is the purpose of the author's text. So, the purpose of this text is to demonstrate different aspects of safeties disrupted in the students' lives. The first section I read was Collier's section, which discusses the impact of a natural disaster and his self-evaluation on his resources and support when struggling with this personal problem, as well as trying to regain a sense of normalcy. He reflects on the potential struggles that students might be facing in their own lives and trying to navigate their learning without the comprehension of teachers and how it can become difficult for them. The second section I read was on Slayer's section discussing vital issues in which students of color are facing and needing to learn how society works to be able to protect themselves. This is more on the basis of physical and emotional safety that the students need to learn to navigate while also improving an interpersonal safety with the teacher and providing that mentorship that students need. The third section was by Shalaby, focusing more on the emotional and psychological safety and how learning to be compassionate can provide a better learning environment where students feel validated in their responses and participation. The section that spoke out to me the most was Shalaby's main argument of being able to learn from your students and identify ourselves as learners. Once we receive the position of educators, we tend to forget that we are still learning and can improve every day. By focusing on only the curriculum and assuming what students need to learn to be well prepared for the world is a common mindset in which we need to progress from and integrate opportunities of reflection. By doing so, we are able to turn a contemporary event into a learning opportunity for students. I also resonated with Slayer's section in having to address societal issues that students face every day. By being more mindful of their backgrounds and their roles in their community, it allows us to draw upon their strengths and focus on their areas of development to ensure they are well equipped. This also means learning where they need resources and meeting their basic needs in order to facilitate their learning. While completing these readings, I understand more about the fixed curriculum in place in schools that do not allow students to be fully engaged in their interests. This, along with Collier's section about not being able to be aware of not being aware of these conflicts students face in their personal lives, has the potential to inhibit the success and opportunities for students. By not acknowledging the cultural wealth and knowledge that students have, students become disengaged. This is important to me because I want to be able to foster a community where students' unique identities are valued and seen within the curriculum. I want to ensure that students feel like they can connect with what they're learning and apply potential topics to their lives. It allows them to play higher expectations on themselves and reflect the teacher's goals for them to be able to achieve higher things in life. Slayer's section also made me understand about the issues students face no matter how much they demonstrate they are worthy, which is something they should not have to do in the first place. His article made me realize how schools are closed-minded in providing support for students of color and the societal injustices they face, leaving the responsibility to educators, especially those of educators of color. This is also important to me because the material at school becomes senseless for students who are struggling to live their lives. And these are issues that only certain educators are able to understand and empathize with their students. By giving them the extra support and listening to them about their struggles, and possibly connecting them with community resources, it is vital for the success and another responsibility that should be tasked on the community and school, not just the educators. By also increasing the opportunities for educators of colors to enter the field and provide that sense of interpersonal relations with the students allows them to be well connected and feel like they are seen and have a model in a higher position. The views presented in these readings reflect my own understanding of how individualistic our society is and not wanting to provide resources for those in need. Lacking empathy with student struggles because they do not impact you directly is something that educators need to focus on more to create a safer environment for students and become more aware that everyone's struggling with their own issues and they are more than just a student in the classroom. By doing so, students will become more engaged and want to participate in class, knowing that the teacher is willing to hear them out. Being able to cultivate a community where we can all learn from each other and value our experiences and what we bring to the classroom is one of my priorities as a future educator. To relate to my own experience, I had the opportunity to do an internship in my second grade class at my local elementary school. One of our students, student A, had behavioral issues and was struggling to complete his work. Some examples were that he will have intense moments of emotion where he would physically throw things at either nothing or at other students by accident, he would sometimes run out the classroom, in which there then it will be difficult to make sure that he is safe and trying to get him back into the classroom. It was also difficult to keep him on task and had to remember to be patient with him because it allowed him to see that we were willing to wait with him to complete his work. One of the examples that I worked with him on a personal level is reading and just being able to help him on his errors. Even though there are times where he would continue making the same mistake, I would be okay with it and just kind of remind him that we can try again and that he doesn't need to feel rushed. As the weeks went by, there were improvements in his character and he was starting to use manners more often. This included saying please and thank you and being respectful of other people's objects. Uh, Later on in the year, one of our students asked to be seated with him to do his work. We agreed to it, and then we saw more improvement between the both students. Student B, who asked to sit with them, would help the student A whenever he had intense moments of emotion and will run out the classroom. When he returned, student B would let him copy his notes and tell him where we were on the page, so that way he wouldn't lose track. Student B also ensured that student A was staying focused on their current work, help him find any assignments that they were working on, and kind of guided him throughout any material. By having this peer, both students were able to keep themselves accountable for their own work. When we asked our student B why he wanted to sit with him, he mentioned that he knew how hard it was to focus and that he was grateful to have been able to receive help from his family and doctors, as well as his teachers. He saw how student A struggled and he saw the same struggles that he was facing. This made him want to work with them and see and become that model that we were representing. He also mentioned how he saw how patient we were with student A and wanted to show that same empathy towards him. This made me realize the importance of emotional learning for students to be empathetic with each other and model that respect so that they continue to learn in a safer environment. It's important for us as educators to remember that we are modeling our students to be learners as we ourselves are learners as well. Thank you.